Studio Ghibli, a large collection of films animated by the one and only Hayao Miyazaki. His art style is unmatched in both detail and emotion. This makes me ask the simple question, can I capture the greatness of his artistic abilities in Minecraft? Because I'm Steve. And that's what makes this a Minecraft channel. Oh, that intro was very cringy. I'm sorry. That probably, let's just get to building. You know, when I got to this build, I really didn't know what I was doing at all. I didn't really have an idea. I just saw an image and I just wanted to make the image, and I just kind of, like that was my only thought process. But as I went through the video, and especially once I finished all the builds, I started having awesome ideas that I realized it was too late to have those ideas. Like one of the big ideas that I had was I wanted to literally recreate the scene in the movie where it shows this specific still. I thought that would be awesome. Like imagine if you saw the same camera angles that it had in the movie of this tunnel and then walking into it, and then I realized I already finished all the builds and it already took me too long to make all of these builds because I was procrastinating, so it was too late. So that's a great idea for the next video. These are all going to be still images, but we have Spirited Away here. Sorry about that little babble, but yeah, we have Spirited Away here, and I've thought about a lot of little details here, you know, like those little tiny windows and whatnot, and all the textures, and even at the bottom where it starts to erode away, I got blocks and I slightly tilted them into the wall to kind of make them not looking like normal blocks, or like full blocks at all. And halfway through, you'll see that the camera will randomly change and fly away across the screen, and the build will move and whatnot, and that's because I realized it wasn't in the right sun angle. So I need to get in the right sun angle, but this one was really fun to make. It was really easy, and I'm glad that I started with this one because it definitely inspired me for the rest of the builds, because it was just simple. It was easy, you know. I mean, it's Spirited Away. It's classic. You can't go wrong with it. This is actually the first Studio Ghibli movie that I've seen. If I'm being honest, I definitely haven't seen all the Studio Ghibli movies, and I haven't even seen all of the ones in this video that we're building. I tried to watch them, but I didn't really have access to them, so that's my bad. I still love the movies, though. There's not much else to say about this one. It's just about done. We're going to do a little montage, but yeah, I mean, if we do a video like this in the future, just know I will try to build the entire scene, not just one wall with a hole in it. Because whenever I started editing, I looked back at it, and I was like, wow, that's a little boring. But, you know, the idea came across, and it really does look like the picture. So yeah, let's look at the little montage of the build and the picture comparison, and then we'll be able to move on to the next build. As we all know, this is the image that we are basing this off of, you know, just a red wall with a little tunnel in it, and here is the image. I think it looks pretty good. I think it looks really close. I tried to get the angle right. I did have to do a little bit of post-processing after I took the screenshot. The shader pack that I used was a little too vibrant, so I had to mess around with some of the colors and whatnot, you know, change the exposure and stuff in Photoshop. Now, I didn't change any like sizes of anything or anything crazy like that, but I did have to change some of those colors around and crop it down to size, just so you know. We might as well just move on to the next one because this one is done. And here we are, moving our way on to build number 2. We have Calcifer here from Howl's Moving Castle. Not only is Howl's Moving Castle one of my favorite animated movies and my favorite Studio Ghibli movie because it's just an instant classic. It's such a good movie. It's so solid. But you add the fact that you have characters like Calcifer here that just looks hilarious and is hilarious and just really brings the movie together. This build was so fun to make, though. Everything about this build was fun to make. It was fun to try to figure out how to make eggs and bacon look like eggs and bacon. It was really fun to make his face and to make it look like he was glowing. You'll see kind of at the end whenever we have the little montage, his face, his eyeballs look like they're bulging out of his head, and I think it just looks hilarious. It's just, it's so funny. This pan scene in general from the movie is so good. So I'm really glad that I added this specifically. I mean, it wasn't really that difficult either. I think the hardest part was actually getting the shapes of the food in the pan to look closer to the picture than not. But everything else was pretty easy, you know, making his face was really easy, making the pan, it's just a circle with a line coming out of it. But in the end, the aesthetics, the idea of it and everything like that, it looks great. I love it. I look at it and I immediately know where it's from. Whenever the build was actually done though, there was an issue that I realized I accidentally made the pan look a little too round, I guess, or flat. I don't know. I couldn't quite figure the angle out. I don't know if that was an artistic choice from Studio Ghibli or if I just didn't know what was going on. So I had to squish the image a little bit just to kind of squish the pot to make it look a little taller. But overall, I love this build to death. I love it so much. I always look at it and it just makes me smile because it's just funny. And so this one's honestly my favorite one out of the entire video. So yeah. I mean, there's not much else to say though. This is build 2. Now, as we all know, this is the before, you know, our little reference photo. We have Calcifer here, and we might as well just go right ahead and toss up the after. Like I said, the angle isn't exactly correct, but I think I did a pretty good job. I think the bacon looks a little more, not like bacon, but, I mean, I still think it looks pretty good. I really enjoy it. You know, you have Calcifer here, and he just looks hilarious. That derpy face that you can't get away from. Solid. Not much to say about it. You just have the comparison, the before and the after. You can make your own opinions about that and whatnot. Let's go right ahead and move on to the next one though. The Secret World of Arrietty. Although I might not remember this movie well, I do know people that love this movie to death. And I can understand why. I mean, just seeing the landscapes and the beauty in this movie, it makes a lot of sense. And that's kind of one of the things that Hayao Miyazaki is known for almost most, is his ability to make a landscape look so good. And of course, I had to try to capture that beauty in a video. If I'm trying to capture his style, I'm trying to capture that connection to the movies through trying to do his outdoor sceneries, trying to do his scenic views. And I think this one looks really good. In the end, the sun rays, we ended up doing this cool technique where with the shader pack, we broke some holes in the ceiling and sun rays came through. We basically made it an entirely enclosed room and only put holes in the ceiling, and it put these sun rays down, and we had to mess around with some colors and do some weird things. Like with the water, we had to mess around with it weirdly, but in the end, I think it looks great. I really, really love this one. Then again though, there's not much to say about it. It's kind of just a hill next to the water with some trees. You know, I mean, it's just building a normal hill. I didn't really have any challenges with this. I just thought it was really fun with the details that we added, especially with the sun rays, and it came out a lot better than I thought. And hopefully you guys think the same as well. So yeah, let's go ahead and check out how the build turned out and give you a little montage and whatnot. Like this one's going a lot faster than the other ones. I feel like we're only at a minute or two and we're already showing the comparison. There right there is the actual build versus the image. I don't know, I said versus, it's not like they're fighting each other, but you know, either way, I mean, my point was it's just getting faster for this section. There wasn't really much to show anyway, so I apologize that the montage seemed a little short. I mean, it's just a few trees with some grass. I'm sure you guys have seen hills before and touched grass. If not, then please go outside and do that. It was really fun to make. There's just not much to show. I think the comparison looks great though. I think it looks like the movie. The movie, yeah, it has a little bit more of a blue tint to the ground, a little more yellow tint to the light, but I have blue tint on the light and yellow tint on the ground, but I couldn't really change that. I think this looks pretty good though. I think this looks close enough and as close as we'll be able to get for this. It does look a little dark too, but it's fine. It's totally fine. But yeah, let's just skedaddle our way onto the fourth build. We are flying through this video and we're almost done. And we're going on to probably the best build of the video right now. Welcome to the tides changing in the video. I would say this build here specifically is completely different than all of the other ones, and that's because I had a different approach for this one. Obviously we're building my Neighbor Toroto. Is that the name of the movie? Yeah, as I was saying, we are building this, and I mean, as you can see, the main part of it are the two characters, and it's kind of difficult in Minecraft, a big blocky game, to be like, hey, how are we going to build all of these character details if we have giant blocky blocks that, you know, 2 blocks covered the entire size of the character. So this is where we entered the use of Chisel and Bits. I've been having access to Chisel and Bits this whole time. I don't like using it because it lags the game to death. But I guess that just didn't matter in this game because I literally used every single piece of both of the characters. I made them out of Chisel and Bits, even the sign that they're next to and everything. I wanted this to look exactly like the image, exactly like the still, and man, did I hold my word to that. I literally made a stencil, like an outline on my drawing app on my phone to get like a pixel art, I guess you could say, outline of Toroto, and I tried to make the girl look just like the actual image. Her umbrella looks a little weird, but that's fine. And I went through this whole process to make sure everything looks good, and even afterwards, whenever I Photoshop the actual image to try to get the colors closer to normal, I even put it in my digital art app, and I changed some of the values around, and I added artificial shadows that the shader pack wasn't able to give and whatnot, and I really changed a lot about this actual build, and I really love it. I think this came out so good. I love it to bits. It is not my favorite, but it is the closest to the actual image, and I don't know, there's just not much more else I could say about it. There's not much I could say about it in general, besides showing you. And before I actually do show you, I did want to also mention, if you guys like this one, then please leave a like, because I tried the hardest on this one. I made the stencils, I planned it all out, and my game literally crashed like 7 times making this because Chisel and Bits does not like my computer at all. So yeah, if you enjoy this one or if you like it, then please leave a like. Let's go right ahead and move on to the montage and showing you that photo comparison. I'm honestly way too excited to show you guys the actual image, but before I show you the first image, I want to show you what it looked like when I first got the screenshot of the shaders before I started tampering with the way it actually looked. So this is what it looked there. Now, it doesn't look great. It just looks flat, you know, looks rainy. Now I want to show you what it looks like after I took it into my drawing app and just kind of messed with some of the colors a little bit and made it look interesting. And that's this one here. I swear to you, this was so fun to make, and I'm glad I took the time to make this, and I'm glad that I, you know, stayed with the game crashing multiple times. I almost gave up a few times, to be honest. It got really annoying, but it was really fun. Some of the things obviously are a little off in proportions and whatnot. I didn't want it to be like pixel perfect, except for Toroto, because I literally, like I said, made an outline to build him. But yeah, I mean, it was still really fun to make, and honestly, I wish this were the highlight of the video and it were to end here on such a high note, but we have one more build to do, and it is not as good as this one. Honestly, I'd say it's the biggest fail, but it gets the idea across. I think the way that I made it is awesome, but I just think the way it looks compared to the original, it doesn't look that great. So let's just go over and get that one done with and get it out of the way. Now we have the last build. This is the drowning town from Ponyo, which was honestly a really great scene, and I wish I was able to get the vibes, and this is actually one of the ones that I was really hoping I built multiple scenes, because imagine being able to see the scene being remade in Minecraft of the flooded town, you know, the road and whatnot, and the fish, and you know, I don't know, but I thought it'd be really cool. This one was actually a request from my brother, because he said that it would look really awesome if this was recreated in Minecraft, and that's why I feel really bad that I did such a bad job. I don't think I did a bad job. I think it does look like the movie. I just don't think I got the colors right, and it doesn't really... it doesn't feel the same as the movie. The movie feels like it's like lightly underwater, and you know, you're just kind of like, it looks more pleasant. In the picture afterwards, it looks a little bit more spooky, I guess, a little more plain. It just doesn't feel the same, but you can tell that it's from the movie. And I think that's really what matters, is that you can tell that it's from the movie. It was still really fun to make, and I loved making the boats. The boats really brought it all together. And it was fun just trying to get everything to work properly. And it's actually really funny too, because it's an entire town and I can't see the back sides of these buildings and the perspective's a little off. So I literally only built the front sides of all of these buildings. I think it's hilarious whenever you move anywhere other than the exact viewing point. It looks horrible in this entire thing. And you'll actually see at the end in the montage, we will literally float around and the perspective just looks ruined. It's kind of funny. And speaking of the montage, there's not much else that I can say about this build other than, you know, it was just fun making it, and there were some challenges with the actual perspective, but, you know, we got over them pretty fast, so we might as well just go right to the montage so we can get, you know, the video done, because we're nearing that 20-minute mark. See, I personally think this build came out really well. I think the buildings seem like they're kind of in the right place. It's just more of the colors that's throwing the whole thing off. And I feel like the colors and, you know, things like the fish really add to the vibes of a Studio Ghibli build, or a Studio Ghibli build, really? I'm building right now. But a Studio Ghibli drawing or scene compared to anything else anybody else would be able to create. You know, that amount of color and that amount of emotion and that feel. Which I still think I did an alright job. I just definitely know I could have did better. And I would love to hear how you guys think I did, what I could have did better, what I could have did worse, whatnot. Anything you want to say in the comments, and we're going to give a little bit of a before and after, I suppose you could call it, of all 5 of the builds. We're just going to do a little slideshow. If you guys do appreciate this video, then please leave a like and subscribe. If you don't, then dislike, unsubscribe, block my channel, whatever you want to do. And I did want to mention before I leave, sometime between this video and next video, I am going to try to learn how to stream on YouTube. So that's something that I'm going to try to do. I want to both stream a hardcore modded Minecraft world, which I think would be really fun to do on stream, but less is exciting for full videos, but we'll see how it goes with streaming. And then I also would love to use it to build my videos, so I can kind of use them to on occasion build my videos before I post them, so you guys can kind of get an insider scoop. So if you guys would like to see that, then please subscribe again, and you'll be able to get those notifications, and you'll be able to see them anytime I start doing them. Now, granted, I don't know when I'm going to start them, but it is an idea that I'm keeping in my mind, and I would love to start doing it. Then again, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys either in my next stream or in the next video.